Okay, hi there, yearbook. Today we're going to talk about our next C, and this one's super important, especially for this year, being on maternity leave, but also for really any year. This is a vital part of yearbook and how we create success, and also make sure that our production becomes easier. So the C that we're going to talk about today is coaching. I'm sure many of you have been on sports teams before, so you've worked with a coach in some facet or another. But really, the best teachers and the best leaders are coaches, people who coach. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today. And thankfully, long-term sub Mr. Grantham is a coach. So the sign of a good leader is someone who can help create more leaders. It's a person who helps people to rise up, not do everything themselves and tell people what to do. They inspire people to help them in the process. So what exactly is coaching? Think of it as like guided discovery. This person, they are a leader and they help you along the way, but they don't do it for you. How it works is it's really a partnership between a leader, a teacher, and a learner. And a coach helps that person. They help them make a decision, they help them solve a problem, or improve a skill. It's a partnership between one and another to make an improvement. So why is coaching an effective thing to use in yearbook and outside of yearbook as well? Coaches don't simply tell people what to do or do it for them. That's kind of wasting energy. Is like, hey, you should do this. Hey, you need to do this. Or worse yet, is they don't trust anybody to do it. They do it for everybody, which is exhausting. What they do is they help bridge the gap between where they are and where they want or need to be. So good coaches, effective leaders take where a group is currently and they figure out a way to inspire that group to move forward and to teach them what they need to know or inspire them to what they need to be. So they help kind of lead the way to cross that bridge. So we're going to talk about some coaching tips next. So first tip is ask questions throughout the process. That's good for not only the coach, but for the person who is being coached. So coaches or leaders, don't disregard an idea. Ask why or how our staffer got there. Like, don't just say, oh, that's a bad idea. Kind of do a little bit of discovery as to like why they came up with that idea. And sometimes the bad ideas come from a great root or can inspire a better idea that maybe the first generation wasn't that great, but if you ask questions and do some more discovery, you might be able to get something out of it. If you don't like the way something is being done, ask them about why they're doing it that particular way. Don't just criticize them or tell them that that's wrong. Do a little bit of discovery into why that person decided to shoot a photo a certain way or to conduct an interview with certain questions. If you ask questions as to why or ask questions about the process, you can do discovery into what exactly is the problem that you need to fix. And then lastly, for the learners, in yearbook this year, if you're a new staffer or if you're a returning staffer and you're working on some skills that maybe you're not as great at, ask questions about the process. Ask questions about decision making that your leaders do. Figure out the why that the coaches do, to do some discovery as to what was their mental process to come to that conclusion. And that will help inform you on how to make calls yourself and improve your process. Leaders, it's really, really important this year that you are coaching because I am not there to teach in the classroom. So you really have to facilitate the learning. And if there are 15 returning staffers teaching and coaching, that's 15 teachers versus just one advisor trying to do all of it. You guys are all experts about different things. You have so much experience and insight from prior years. So I really hope that you feel comfortable in coaching each other and building each other up and helping each other in teaching. And a lot of times, teachers, we don't know the best way to reach you as students. So if students feel comfortable coaching and teaching one another, you can teach things a lot of different ways, and sometimes the way that I might approach teaching you a topic or explaining something is not the best way for you to learn it. But if you have another individual who explains it in a different way, but it's still effective, then you can learn better or you can clarify misunderstandings. So I digress. So coaching tip number 2, think analytically. Think about the process and always be one step ahead as a coach. Kind of think about, okay, what comes next? What am I going to need to teach them next? What do they need to know in order to complete that process or cross that bridge? Offer up options if something isn't working out. In Yearbook, we have to do a lot of creative problem solving. We have a huge difficulty in getting interviews done or finding students or getting students to come in. So think of other creative options to get stuff done. Good coaches, like I just explained, there's a lot of different ways to teach things or explain things. So if something's not working out, try a different way, try a different mode. And it's always good to have a backup plan. So if something is not coming out the way you want it to, have a backup plan for getting that process done or getting that product revised, okay? It's always good to have plan A, plan B, plan C, and then plan D. Okay, coaching tip number 3. This one's super important. Provide constructive feedback. Nobody likes to be criticized negatively. Oh, that stunk. Oh, that was awful. Oh, you're so dumb. That's awful. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody is going to be inspired to keep going or to press through challenges if you are negative to them. So stay positive, offer suggestions. Here you can see on this slide, there are some great prompts for some ways that you can provide constructive feedback. Think about the way that you are providing feedback, what you're saying. If you would not like somebody to say it in that way to you, don't use it on somebody else, okay? There's plenty of ways to constructively give people information, but we don't need to do it in a negative way. Okay, coaching tip number 4. Oh, baby is stirring on the monitor. Go back to sleep. Okay, good, he went back to sleep. That's my reality. Okay, coaching tip number 4, be able to delegate decision making. Leaders, it's really great to include all the staff in making decisions. This builds trust, it builds responsibility, it builds ownership, and it helps the new staff understand how you guys make your judgment calls, why you came to a certain conclusion or decided on one option versus another. So again, here are some ways that you can show trust and build responsibility. Let page designers select their own inspiration or try something new. Allow staffers to pick their own stories. We do a really good job of this when we're brainstorming content to cover. Again, here are some options to help delegate some of that decision making that happens every day in Yearbook. Coaching tip number 5, do less fixing of unsatisfactory work. So editors and leaders, I know it's really tempting to just go in there and go, oh, it's faster for me to just fix the alignment or fix the spelling or edit this caption or edit that body copy. But it's going to be super important that when we have the time that we explain and coach and teach as to why we need to make those edits. Talk to that writer, that designer, that staffer. Let them be able to learn from what they did wrong, and that way they don't make those same mistakes again. If you do the fixing yourself, that staffer, that person is never going to learn. They're just going to see, oh, quickly they fixed it and they submitted it, but I don't really understand why that was incorrect. So again, I know it's a lot faster to do work yourself sometimes, but we need to take the time as a good coach and a good teacher to let that person fix their own work after we've explained and taught them. All right, so that's some tips on how to better coach. Coaches are not just leaders or returning staffers. New staffers, you guys have background experience and knowledge. You're going to gain insights through doing stuff in Yearbook, and when you learn something great, something that cuts down on time or helps you out, share it with people. Don't keep it to yourself. We need to all be teaching and growing with each other and improving each other, and if we hold information to ourselves, then nobody's going to gain from that. Baby just woke up. Darn it all. Okay, gotta go, guys. Hopefully you gained some insight on how to be a better coach and improve our staff through that.